If you want to earn 5% cash back on your top spending category with doing literally zero work besides spending with this credit card, the Citi Custom Cash is for you. And there's a secret trick I'm going to show you later in this video that you can have not one, but 2 Citi Custom Cash cards. That means you can be getting 5% back on your 2 biggest spending categories without doing any work. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to get approved, all the secret tips and tricks to use this credit card, and how to redeem your points for maximum value. But first, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Shake Weights. No, I'm just kidding. Let's get into this card review. Let's first talk about how you're going to be able to get this credit card. So it's recommended that you have a credit score of 700 or higher, but I've seen people with high 600s to mid 600s get approved. But to be safe, I'd recommend that you have over 700 credit score. And there's 2 different rules that you need to know when applying for this credit card that Citi has. So the first is the 865 rule, and they kind of lump it into one rule. And the first part of this is you're automatically going to be denied if you apply for more than 1 credit card in 8 days. So, I mean, at least wait a week before your last credit card application. And the second rule is that you can't apply for more than 2 credit cards in 65 days. So this one's a pretty understandable rule. They just want to make sure you're not trying to get a bunch of credit cards in a short amount of time, because there's usually 2 scenarios here. 1, you're trying to get a bunch of credit to buy stuff that you can't afford, or 2, that you're trying to build that ultimate credit card setup. But, you know, 90% of people are just trying to get a bunch of credit to buy stuff that they can't afford. So nothing too crazy with the rules. Just make sure you're spacing out your credit card applications a little bit. And these are a lot easier rules to work around than the rules from, say, Chase Bank. So now that you know a little bit about how to get this credit card, let's move on to our first category, which is going to be the annual fee. And this credit card is going to come with a 0 annual fee, which is one of the reasons that I like it so much. I personally will never get a cashback credit card that comes with an annual fee. So for the annual fee category, I'm going to have to give it 5 out of 5 stars. So now let's go over and look at the sign-up bonus that comes along with this credit card. For this one, you're going to get $200 cash back when you spend $1,500 within the first 6 months of opening up this credit card. So $200 is pretty good for a no annual fee cashback card. That's definitely on the higher end that you're going to see. And you have a whole 6 months to spend that $1,500. Which I really like, because with a credit card like this, you're probably only using it for 1 category. So you have a while to meet that sign-up bonus. So for the sign-up bonus category, I'm going to have to give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Also, while it's being advertised as $200 cash back, you're actually going to get this in 20,000 of Citi's thank you points. And if you play your cards right, you can redeem it for travel and get a boost on how much those points are worth. So for the statement credits and benefits that come with this card, there's really only one, and that's going to be 0 APR and balance transfers and purchases within the first 15 months. So there's a couple things you want to think about if you're going to do a balance transfer with this credit card. And the first thing is that it comes with a 5% balance transfer fee. So if you're paying a lot of interest on another credit card and loan, you can move it over to this credit card and not have to pay any interest on the first 15 months, but you are going to have to pay an upfront fee of 5%. And this is still a decent card if you want to do a balance transfer, because you get 15 months to pay it off, and a lot of other credit cards just give you 12 months or even less. But there are a couple better balance transfer cards, and I don't take advantage of 0 APR on credit cards because it's always good to get in the habit of paying your credit cards off in full. And what the credit card companies are hoping that you're going to do is spend a bunch of money that you don't have, and then after that 15 months is over, pay interest on whatever balance you have left that you thought you were going to pay off, but you didn't. So then they're making money off you. So don't fall into that trap and just set up automatic payments. But I still think it's nice that a 0 annual fee cashback credit card like this has that 15-month period. So for the benefits category, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 stars. Now let's talk about the most important thing about this credit card, which is going to be the rewards. That's why we're all here for. So the way that this credit card is going to work is whatever your high spending category is, it's automatically going to take that each month and then give you 5% back on that. But everything else, it's just going to give you 1% back on. So let's say this month I went and I spend $50 at Target on this little Soldier Boy here. I also went to a gas station and spent $100 that month. It's automatically going to see that I spent the most amount of money at that gas station, give me 5% back at the gas station, and then give me 1% back on everything else. So the best way to use this credit card is to just have it dedicated to one specific category. So the most common way you're going to see people using this credit card is them just leaving it in their car and using it as their dedicated gas credit card. That way they're maximizing that 5% back on everything. But of course you can use this for any categories. So some people will use it for their dining category, other people will use it for their shopping. It just depends on what you spend money on. And it also depends on what other credit cards you have in your wallet. If I had the Amex Gold that gives me 5% back on dining, it would make sense to only use this card for gas. But if I had a AAA credit card that gives me 5% back on gas, I could use this credit card for dining. And that's one of the reasons I like this credit card so much. It's like a puzzle piece, but that puzzle piece can literally fit any piece that you want it to. So if you have a piece missing in your credit card setup, this card can most likely fill that. But it's important to keep in mind that each billing cycle, you're only getting it 5% back on the first $500. That's why a lot of people like it as a gas credit card, because most people aren't spending more than $500 in gas every month, where maybe for dining or groceries they are. And then after you spend more than $500 in that category, you're just gonna get 1% back. So I'll read off a list of what categories this credit card offers. The first one is restaurants, then you have grocery stores, gas stations, select travel, select transit, streaming, drugstores, home improvement, fitness centers, and live entertainment. So if you're wondering what select travel and transit you're going to get, pretty much everything, but there's a couple things that are excluded. So for travel, timeshares, boat leases and rentals, campgrounds, trailer parks, and then real estate agencies are going to be excluded. But one thing that it does include is Airbnb purchases. A lot of people aren't team travel because a lot of times they're booking Airbnbs instead of hotels. So if that's you, you're going to be able to use this card as your dedicated Airbnb and travel card. And then for transit, it's going to exclude bike and scooter rentals, auto club, and insurance companies. So you're pretty much going to be getting every travel and transit category covered, like Uber and all the big ones. They're just going to exclude some of the weirder, uncommon ones. So for the redemption options, it's pretty much all going to redeem at 1 cent per point if you want cash back. You can get cash back as statement credits, which is probably going to be the most common. You can also get it as a direct deposit into your bank account, or you can get a check mailed to you. But like I mentioned earlier, if you get the new Citi Strata Premier, or previously the Citi Strata, which is now upgraded to the Citi Strata Premier, you can redeem these points for travel and potentially get a boost on your points value with some of the transfer partners that Citi has. So if you're planning on doing some traveling in the future and you want to get the Citi Strata Premier, you can save the sign-up bonus and all the points you're earning with this card and then put it towards travel later down the line. So for the redemption option, 5 out of 5 stars. Now let's take a look at the card design itself. And this is a plastic credit card, but honestly, it's one of my favorite plastic credit cards just because they make it look different than other plastic credit cards. I'm not sure how, but it gives off this glossy, a little bit more luxurious look that the Citi cards tend to do. And I just like the different shades of blue on this credit card. You can probably see I'm probably a little bit biased here, but yeah, I'm going to give this credit card 4.5 out of 5 stars for the design. So let's move on to the pros and cons. Just to recap, the reason that I love this credit card so much, it comes with 0 annual fee. You're getting the top of the line 5% cash back on your biggest spending category with this card. It's super flexible. You get your rewards and Citi thank you points, and you have that 0 APR for 15 months. Now, almost no credit card's perfect besides the Indigo credit cards. No, I'm just playing. Never get one of the Indigo credit cards, no matter how much Credit Karma pushes it in your face. But that 5% back is capped at $500 per billing cycle or per month. And that 5% back is limited to just one category. So in my opinion, this credit card is really going to be good for a lot of people because it's such a versatile card, You can get it if you're team travel and you want to fill one of your categories that one of your travel credit cards might not cover, or you can get it and use it as a staple in your credit card setup. And I almost forgot to mention, but at the beginning of this video, I said you could get 2. And the way that you do that is you just go and apply and get the Citi Custom Cash, so you have one of them, but then you can also get the Citi Double Cash or the Citi Strata Premier, and then do a product change into a Citi Custom Cash. So you can potentially have 2 to 3 of these and use them all for different things. So pretty much build your entire credit card setup off of this one credit card, and make sure you don't get them mixed up because they're all going to look the same. Now, there have been some reports that Citi's cracking down on this a little bit more, and sometimes they'll deny you for a product change if you already have a Citi Custom Cash because they're kind of catching on to people doing this. But if you have a Citi Double Cash or a Citi Strata Premier that you don't want anymore, it's definitely worth calling them up and trying to do a product change. But overall, I'm going to give this credit card 4.5 out of 5 stars. If you want to see a breakdown on a credit card that gives you 2 5% categories that you can choose, go check out my breakdown on Citi's Cash Plus after this one. And of course, if you found any value in this video, make sure you subscribe and like and do all that stuff so other people can see it. I'll see you guys later.